Good afternoon, Southern Maryland, and I'm lead forecaster with JP Weather, John Bordash, with you right now to give you my latest thoughts and expectations as we head through the later portions of this week with a potential significant winter storm that could impact the region. And my confidence with this storm is starting to grow. I did my first post about this storm yesterday, in which I referenced that this could be a possible snowmaker, but I'm thinking that this is looking a little bit more likely, and I'm finding fewer and fewer ways out of this storm. I really don't see a real solution that gives us no impacts at all, no precipitation at all. So this is looking pretty likely. The questions right now lay with the storm track, which also affects the precipitation type, and that affects snow totals, ice totals, rain totals. So we have a lot of things to figure out, and one important thing is the storm will be coming onshore in the west coast later on tonight. And what that allows us to do is get a lot more information from the storm. And it's really not just one piece of energy, it's lots of different pieces of energy coming together to make one bigger storm. But we get the main piece of energy onshore tonight, and so if we're going to see any major changes to the forecast, it's going to happen tonight, which means I'd post about it sometime tomorrow. I will be posting my first call on snowfall totals tomorrow, but it's still way too early to put anything out today. So if you see any numbers today, take them with a grain of salt. Actually, take it with a bucket load of salt because we will know a lot more come tomorrow. It's just really weird that we have the amount of model support we do right now with the storm. What was 6-7 days out, it first popped up on the models on Thursday and Friday. And now, as we get closer, all the models are holding serve, so here we go. I'll first take you into our models, or a model. This is the America model that just came out, and then we'll go into the graphics, and I'll tell you all about my thoughts. And you can read below to, if you need to revisit a point, you can read through in the blog post below. So first, we're going to look at the American model. And again, this just came out, and here's how to read this. And I'm just going to give you a quick, here's what's going on. Over here, you have your key. Any color other than pink or blue is rain. Now, the pinks will represent sleet freezing rain. Blues will represent snow. Now, these blue lines, I know it's kind of hard to see, but you'll figure it out. These blue lines right through here, those represent the potential for temperatures to be below freezing. The last line is called the 540 line. It's sometimes referred to as the rain-snow line, sometimes referred to as the 32-degree line, but it doesn't always work out that way. But it's a nice way just to kind of guess where it would be. Like over here, you can see the rain-snow line does not match up at all, this 540 line. You see red lines, potential for temperatures above freezing, and these black lines, those are isobars. And all you need to know is the closer they are together, you get wind. It's like we have a whole bunch together right now. It's really windy outside, and it's really cold, really cold. So let's push this on forward. You see we have the potential for some snowflakes, and this would be Wednesday afternoon or Wednesday evening as the weak system passes to our south, and that would give us maybe a few flurries, no significant accumulation though, probably not even any accumulation, and I'd only give that about a 30% chance of giving us any type of flurry activity. But as we push this on forward, we stick with the cold weather all the way through this week. I don't think we see a high that cracks 40 degrees. So we will definitely have the cold. But here comes our storm system out of the south and east. And it's going to be rain down there, but as we push this on forward, this is Thursday night. Now this is early Friday morning. It's trying to get some snow in southeastern Virginia. And as we push this into Friday afternoon, right around the midday hours, this has the snow starting across the area with rain to the south. And the snow could be moderate to heavy at times. You see, it really starts to crank up with our low pressure system down to the south, which is great news for us, for snow lovers at least. And you start to see as the storm passes closer to us, more of these red lines. We're trying to see 1, 2, maybe even 3 red lines over southern Maryland. It's because as the storm passes closer, we start to bring in a lot more Atlantic moisture, which means a lot more warm air. And I'm using warm relatively. I'm talking 35, 36, but it's warm enough to change us from snow to rain or sleet or freezing rain. But as the storm passes away, we will switch back over to snow. And then this particular model sent us over just maybe some moderate snows, and Eventually does end the storm late Saturday evening, early Sunday morning. This model has about a 50-hour snowfall event, and that's not out of the realm of possibility, but I think our timing is going to be anywhere between midday Friday, maybe late morning Friday. The European model is hinting at more of a later solution through about Saturday afternoon or evening. Now that we're done with this, I'm going to show you some of our scenarios, my thoughts, potential for storms, and basically just the bottom line. So here's scenario 1, and let me get my marker up here so I can draw on. So here's our low pressure system in scenario 1. This is what we call our coastal hugger scenario. Low pressure just to our south and east, and as it passes up along the coast, it will bring in warm Atlantic air. As it does so, we will see mixing issues in that pink area. Now, further away from any waterway, back up through here, we're looking at the potential for snow that could be heavy at times, and that's basically right up along I-95 and to the west. With this scenario, if you're up along a waterway, you're likely going to mix with at least some sleet, freezing rain, depending on the load track, maybe even some rain. And I may need to actually extend this green area up a little bit higher, closer to Ocean City, because I think if this were to happen, we'd see more rain in that area. Do I think this is likely? I think it's somewhat likely. I'd give it about a 60% chance of happening. Now, our second scenario. And this scenario has more of a southern solution, a southern sliding type of storm. The storm is further to the south and kind of just slides out to sea. Now, as that happens, it's not as long of a duration storm, and the winds, and I forgot to mention that, let me bring this back over here. With these warm Atlantic winds, they will be strong, upwards of 40, 50, 60 mile per hour gusts in this type of a scenario, which means we would likely see some high winds. I saw yesterday, I think it was Channel 4 was throwing out the B word, the blizzard word. That's a possibility, but I want you to know, just because the potential for a blizzard is there does not mean high snowfall accumulations. It just means high winds. Out in the Midwest, they have 2-inch blizzards all the time because they just meet those wind requirements. Doesn't mean heavy snow. Scenario 2, though, low pressure tracks out to sea. Not really strong winds, but still impactful. But we don't see the mixing issues as we would in scenario 1. They're further to the south, which means more snow for us right up through here, I-95. Rain to the south. What do I think will happen? Oh, and I'd give this a 40% chance of happening. If I had to kind of draw something out, and I'm freehanding this, I'm not going to do anything too professional. If I'm going to draw the mixing area, I'm going to put it southern Long Island, right up along the Jersey Shore, maybe not that far inland, that far north, but we'll see. Southern Delaware, lower Eastern Shore, southern Maryland, and then we'd probably see a cold air damming situation. So probably something a little bit like this over to Virginia Beach. This area would mix with snow, freezing rain, sleet, and just plain old rain. Maybe this area up through here sees a little bit more rain. But this is basically our mix area. These are my actual thoughts. So I think we do mix here in southern Maryland. To the north and west, I think we're seeing snow. Snow that could be heavy at times. If I had to try to pinpoint an area for the heaviest snow, probably north and west of I-95, but that's going to move around over the next couple of days with rain down to the south. What are my thoughts on the storm potential? How strong could the storm be? What type of storm are we talking about? So we have 4 different categories I'm using: nuisance, disruptive, significant, and major. Let me move myself so you can see this a little bit better. I'll move myself all the way up here. There we go. So nuisance, disruptive, significant, and major. What are the chances of this? For a nuisance storm, that brings us some snow, a little bit more mixing, and more rain than anything else. Give that about a 10% chance. For a disruptive storm, that brings a little bit more snow, more mixing, and not as much rain, about a 30% chance. What about a significant snowstorm? Well, significant winter storm with some significant snowfall accumulations, some mixing, and a little bit of rain, give that about a 40% chance. And as you can kind of guess with the math, with a major winter storm, that I'd give that a 20% chance. That means almost all snow, we're talking very little mixing, significant to major accumulations of snow. And these are my thoughts right now as of Tuesday afternoon. Again, our storm has yet to really come on shore yet, so I'm sure this will change around tomorrow. We will get the first winter storm watches out tomorrow from the National Weather Service, but this is where I'm laying right now. I could see this changing a little bit. If anything, I could see it maybe going up over towards the significant and major accumulations, but we'll see. Right now, these are my chances here in southern Maryland. If you're north and west of DC, you're going to see more snow. And right now, give this about a medium confidence forecast. So here are your early headlines, the bottom line right now, Tuesday afternoon. Timing, the storm looks to start midday Friday, ends sometime Saturday afternoon. It's going to be a long duration event, and it could potentially be maybe 48 to 50 hours worth of snow, wind, wintry precipitation. But again, we'll still iron out the timing coming up. Coming up the next few days. Impacts. This will be a high impact storm with heavy precipitation and winds. We'll have to figure out what type of precipitation we're seeing, but we will definitely see wintry weather, high winds as well. Accumulations, still too early to put out numbers because mixing will be a problem. However, if you're thinking about flying out Friday or Saturday, really Friday afternoon, you're gonna have issues. Friday morning, you should be okay. Thursday, you will be fine. Saturday, it depends on what we see on Sunday will depend on what we see on Saturday, and Monday you'll be fine. School-ons, still way too early to tell. We'll see coming up on Thursday. And you're going to want to stay with JB Weather. I will continuously have updates throughout the rest of the week, going into the weekend. I'm going to have some sleepless nights coming up here on Friday and on Saturday. But I'm working on the clock for you, so I want you to stay with JB Weather and always look to the sky for the forecast. Have a nice and safe one, and I'll see you. I'll probably have another video update sometime tomorrow with another textual update coming up later tonight. Have a nice one.